Why?
I'd like to go ahead and say what it was, but
I
just don't know if I want to do that.
Why?
Yet. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and do it.
What's up, everybody? My name is Adam, and I'm the host of the You Know Adam Saying podcast, the show that is dedicated on bringing on passionate people, learning about their stories, and delivering value to entrepreneurs. So if that's what you're interested in, go ahead and follow, like, and subscribe. You know what I'm saying?
How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the You Know Adam Saying podcast, where you get to know just a little bit more about people, passions, and all things business.
Very
Today,
nice.
we're going to get a little bit bagel crazy with Mr. Britt Hendrix. Welcome to the show.
Very cool, Adam. I see these all the time, and it's nice to be on with you today. I don't know which camera to look at.
Look at them all. Just greet them all. You know, we're gonna crush it today. Super
cool.
excited to have you on. If you are in Statesboro, Georgia, there has been a very nice bagel shop that has opened up in downtown Statesboro. Boro Bagels.
That's
and
right.
Britt Hendrix is the owner of that store. So super excited to have you on. Want to talk about your journey, the things that you've done, and ultimately, like, what led you down this path. So,
Yeah, that's an interesting feed. Yeah, well, to keep it pretty short, I mean, I think I got the restaurant bug from after I sold Your Pie in 2020. I got to missing the restaurant industry and decided maybe it was time to try it again.
Okay.
I just missed the day-to-day, the regulars, the camaraderie of a team, building a business. This is a little different. It's starting from scratch, you know.
Yeah.
Literally, we did a lot of planning to get the place the way it should be, to get the right picture all together. Like, we're trying to solve that breakfast and lunch problem downtown that is so often said, and I'm efficiency driven and simplicity driven, so that's why operationally we went the way we did.
So, you know, I think for some of those that are maybe not familiar with the area, paint me a picture of what this bagel spot looks like.
That's right. So we are actually located right beside Cool Beans downtown, 23 South Main. It is, you know, you have fine dining and you have fast food. We're fast casual dining. And you get your food fast, but there's no reason why you can't have a nice ambiance and experience as well.
Yep.
So we spend a lot of time with that.
It looks great in there.
I
man.
appreciate that.
I'm really excited because when it was first going down, I remember stopping by,
Yeah.
looking through the doors, like, what's going on?
You saw it from the raw. And I think that was part of it itself. I mean, you know, you can't really manifest nostalgia. You have to repurpose it. And we wanted to be somewhere in between, you know, your urban and your artisan, somewhere in that mix. I wanted to bring a little Savannah and Charleston feel in. I didn't have the full eye for it, so I had to lean on my good friend Brandon Jones.
Shout out
I'm
Water's
sure
Edge.
I'll put a little plug in for Water's Edge
Man,
Design.
they do some great work.
They do.
Their design eye is probably some of the best I've seen around this area.
It is.
And they don't
It
do that
is.
many commercial projects, but
No.
I'm very, happy with the way that this one turned out.
Yeah, they definitely put their touch on it, and I can't see those things and you understand from a business owner stance, you have a lot on your mind, and it's hard for you to get out of the box to see the pretty things and the fun things when you're doing all the efficient things.
That's right.
So, but yeah, you learn to utilize your resources around you in business, and that's what I had to do there.
So some really nice features of the restaurant. I love this nook and cranny. Like, you know, you have this kind of, window seal that kind of like juts out, juts out from the building itself.
That's right.
You've put the two chairs there, and that's kind of like, that's my favorite spot.
Kind of like how we are right here.
Yeah, it's just very kind of cozy and intimate.
And it's
nice.
funny because people like kind of fight to get that spot, and there's nothing like, being in Savannah, being just inside of a spot and watching people outside wish they were where you were.
Yeah.
So I know people like to have that same feeling here.
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned something about your pie.
Yes.
Talk to me about how you got into that business.
That's right. So yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of time working in restaurants in college, a fine dining place in Athens, Hilltop Grill. I learned a lot of the tricks in the trade, with that. And then the beach at Stingrays. I used to work at Stingrays. So been around, the server life. And I was just like, I could probably do this. And so I kind of veered off course from my turf grass management degree at Georgia.
Turf grass?
Yes.
Is that a thing?
Oh, yeah. Learn how to grow turf grass. I went to golf course and sports management. Yeah. I used to do work with I did my internship with the University of Georgia.
Wow.
That's it's been a good time there, but I finally got my degree, and clearly
I can read between the lines. I know what you're talking about.
Clearly not putting it to use, but sometimes it's you find out what you don't want to do to find out what you do want to do.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I guess I needed to create a job, and this just keeps happening to me. Apparently, I needed to create a job, and I wanted a challenge, and so Your Pie was an efficient business concept, and so I went that route. I did it for 7 years.
Wow.
How was that? Really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it, and it was corporate. I was a franchisee, and so this go around, I'd like to paint my own campus essentially. And it is a big jump. Doing something on your own and not having a corporation behind you.
Yep.
And that, creating a brand.
Sure.
Brands don't mean anything. It's what you back it up with. They're just words on an object.
Yeah.
But we're trying to give life to something that wasn't there, and that's a constant challenge each day you have to stay on top of.
What during this process, what did you kind of experience, right? So I guess, had you seen a Your Pie out in the wild and you were like, hey, I love this concept, or how did you and Your Pie
That's
link
right.
up?
So I'm from Athens, right outside Athens actually, and me and my buddies in college used to go there before we went downtown, you know, and it was just kind of like a pre-game thing, if you will, for the night.
Yeah.
And there was a definite cool factor there that I liked, and it was a vibrant atmosphere to be part of. I grew up in a college town. I'm living in a college town now, so it just kind of happened organically. I knew I wanted to be around that kind of energy, and the food was healthy. It was good food, and businessly speaking, it's still a great concept.
Yeah.
You can make it under 5-6 minutes, brick oven style pizza. But now transitioning into where we are now, is a slightly smaller circle.
Sure.
From a pizza to a bagel.
Same, huh?
Yeah. But this is just a little bit different concept, and I do miss a lot of that, but each era has its time, and this is the beginning of a new one. So
that's huge. And how would you describe the culture?
Forever changing. It's one good thing is we're talking about a bagel.
Yeah.
And this is biscuit country down here in the
crazy.
South,
Yeah.
And so it's kind of a challenge in itself. But I think the downtown sector is welcoming to new things that aren't really there. I'm old school. I love old school things.
Yeah.
I grew up on a farm.
Yeah.
But I spent some time living in Savannah, and I've learned that there's more out there.
Yeah.
And, downtowns, they are like a melting pot, and there's all facets of people, and everybody needs to have their thing, And I think at Boro Bagel Company, we definitely spend time to create the atmosphere where we are open to everybody's, wants, and we love to hear about what other things people would like to have. We're essentially a brunch spot.
Sure.
And we're still growing with we have a whole nother half menu we'd like to launch. But businessly speaking, we keep it simple to start because of such a high need. More simply put, if there were more options for breakfast and lunch downtown at a semi-affordable price, we wouldn't have to start so small.
Yeah.
But there's so many people that want it that we have to keep operations simple and grow from there.
That makes sense.
So that we don't get overwhelmed, because Fridays and Saturdays are a whole nother animal right now.
Yeah.
And and we don't even have a sign up yet. Like we're working on that right now. But
Yeah.
But clearly there's a need, and I really do appreciate all the business and all the attention and hype, because it is very exciting to have something that people are sought after, So, and I think just the feedback alone helps. Like I had a lady tell me the other day, she's said her, Shanda Rushing, I believe, actually.
I know her.
You know her.
She's
yeah.
great.
Another one brings the energy.
Yeah, she's great.
She said that her daughter went to a bunch of bagel places in Atlanta, and she's like, you got to go to Boro Bagel. It's better than those.
Yes.
And I was just like, all right.
Let's go.
And I mean, as a visionary and as an entrepreneur, you have to believe it before you see it. You know that.
Absolutely.
But when you have that validation come when you're not asking for it, it just reinforces it too.
Love that. So tell me about kind of like conception, right? Like, so how did you arrive at the point where, okay, bagels is the move.
Right.
And then also like, how did you come up with the name? How like, what was your process? How did you come up with menu, right? Like, so those are questions that, often, I'm assuming that you ate your fair share of bagels.
Yeah. So in a perfect world, you have time to go and dissect bagel spots and go and try all these new things.
Did you do that?
No.
Okay.
I took one day, me and my girlfriend Maria, we went down to Savannah, and I told her, I said, I just want to go into 10 or 12 spots, not even really eat there. Maybe we'll eat at one or two of them, but just pop in, feel the vibe and what they got going on, and just take mental notes, and we did that. And not that you're actually stealing from these places, but you're just letting it rub off on your own tendencies. Yeah.
There's a common thing that's said, like the greatest artists just never reveal where they pull inspiration from.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So like, I think it's perfectly fine to be inspired by places that you're going to and experiencing.
Right. Yeah. And it's just doing market research essentially. But, I'm not going to sit there and take notes on a paper,
Sure.
I just need to feel it.
Or you could.
You could, or you could. That's true. But yeah, and you got to watch that, because the more you emulate, the less you actually create.
Sure.
So, but no, that did help me. And I am trying to bring a little bit of that culture from Savannah and Charleston. So that's why I did that. And yeah, so as far as the bagel concept, it was just actually, I hate to say it, but Brandon, he's my neighbor. He definitely has been telling me for years we need a bagel place downtown. And a lot of people have been saying that. Oh man, we've been wanting this whole time.
Yeah.
Well, it's just it's almost like that journalistic feel, like where you get your day started. That's kind of halfway. Like that's one of our sayings. There is we want to be where you get your day started. But he just had mentioned that numerous times to me, and I was like, I finally found a point in my life after Your Pie where I was ready to do something, and it seemed like I said earlier, if you feel a blatant need in a business market, you cut half of the risk out versus just, I want to do this, But if there is a need, then that is an educational move. Yes, it should probably be taken. And then you go from there. But, even as far as the name, so that's a little bit of a combination. So me and Brandon, our neighbors are good buddies, and we both just, have these crazy ideas all the time. And some of them stick, some of them don't.
Yeah.
This one stuck.
Yeah.
And so Boro Bagel was something we came up with. And then, the company, I just put that in there to make sure that it kind of just allows you to do other things, than just bagels. When you read the word company on something, it just kind of gives it a little bit broader spectrum.
Sure.
We do want to be a hub for downtown and events and just a informational hub we're gonna have, and we want to be affiliated with all the stuff downtown. And
I like that. And so, at Boro Bagel, how do you guys approach this concept of maintaining a fresh product?
That's right. So, I think it's based a lot on your concept that you're pushing, and our concept is it's actually a to-go concept. It's set up almost like an airport kiosk.
Yep.
And our drinks are even bottled beverages. We sell coffee. We sell our neighbors coffee.
Yeah.
Shout out to Cool Beans.
Shout out Cool Beans.
And I guess it's just like, and we made it nice enough that if you want to stay.
Yeah.
But a bagel is a kind of a to-go food.
Okay.
And I'm a big street foodie.
Sure.
I think there should be more people eating things on the move downtown. Like you should go downtown and see people walking around. I mean, we're not as freaky fast as Jimmy John's,
Classic.
but we are not far behind. I can confidently say you can get your food in about 2 to 3 minutes from time of pay.
Yeah.
That's pretty fast. Now Saturdays might be a different story because we have people out the door.
Yeah.
And that's probably because of our hours of operation aren't as long as they're going to be. We are going to expand hours. Right now we're open from 7:30 to 1:30.
Yeah.
But like I said, as growing a business from start, you have to do it in stages.
That's right.
Or you'll get overwhelmed.
I love the approach, in anything. I think oftentimes entrepreneurs bite off more than they can chew. They want like everything all at once. But instead of doing that, you're kind of like slowly kind of like rolling out like the various different levels and
stretch out the new, I mean, you don't want the new to wear off too quick. And
that's right.
Got to give people something to look forward to. But to piggyback on what you were talking about earlier with the freshness, our bagels come from the Bronx in New York. And
is there a reason? So I've always heard this. Yeah. I've always heard that bagels are better in New York. And they say it's something with the water.
It is.
It's like traces of minerals or whatever it is.
So the water comes down from the Catskill Mountains. And that whole water table is just purified from it.
Okay.
And yes, there's minerals that are washed in there, and it's just, you think of New York water, you just don't think of really pristine water.
Yeah.
But upstate New York, there's some major mountains, and so all that water is traveling downward. So anything baking, pizzas,
pizza,
like
pizza,
cakes, that's why they got the good stuff. So our bagels come from the Bronx, a company called Just Bagels.
Okay.
They distribute to all the Hyatts and all the Hilton hotels across the nation.
Wow.
All 50 states, actually.
Yeah.
I sought them out from the start because I really wanted to bring a taste of New York to Statesboro. And it was a very efficient way to do it. They cook them there in their massive place that I will go visit one day.
Yeah.
I just haven't had a chance.
Consistency will always be there. Consistency inside of a restaurant is probably one of the most critical factors, right?
That's
because
true.
you want something that, every single time you go in, it's the same. Every single, Chipotle, every single kind of like, these fast casual concepts, when you go in there, you know exactly what to expect.
There's something to be said for that.
Yeah.
And if you can deliver that without being too predictable and corporate, you've found the secret.
Yeah.
And that is what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
It's a tough feat dealing with everything, but that's why you have to simplify the operations.
What do you think has been a challenge that you did not expect?
There's been a few of those, but The hiring process was a little different than it used to be.
Yeah. What it used to be?
It used to be, I'll be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah, let's
it
talk
used
about
to be,
it.
I mean, there was a lot of people wanting jobs. There was, out of 10 hires, you got 4 or 5 all-stars.
Yeah.
Now, that might not be the case.
Why? What do you think it is?
I think it's a generation trend. I also think there's a lot of carryover from COVID, obviously.
Why would COVID have anything to do with it?
Just there was, there's certain developmental stages on people underneath 18 years old. All of my staff is in college.
Yep.
And I have a solid team. I'm very, very fortunate to have the team I have there.
Don't just trash them like
No, I'm talking I'm just saying the hiring process lasted a little longer than I anticipated.
Yeah.
Just
everything.
finding the ones for the right fit. But no, I could not ask for a better team.
Yeah.
They stepped up to the challenge, and that is a challenge when you talk about a startup business.
Yeah.
Where there are no things already really in place. They are the OGs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that they have definitely risen to the challenge.
How does a team member in this day and age? So let's thinking about the channel, this is really meant for entrepreneurs, right?
For sure.
So there's 2 aspects of this. How were you able to find the right people, and what do you look for in the right person?
Yeah. So well, we literally put a QR code on the door.
Yeah.
That took you straight to the application. Word of mouth was big. I had a lot of people that still remembered me from owning Your Pie, which helped as well, because we had numerous teams there in the 7 years that I owned it. But I mean, a lot of people found us. Mm-hmm. I don't really know how, but they found us, and we looked at availability, of course, and I hate to say it, but local's always good because when it comes to holidays, they're not going far.
Yeah.
Because scheduling's tough. But what I look for, is how they answer some of the questions, our personalized application that we set up, strengths and weaknesses. But availability is really huge, and you don't know until you meet them. But you'll know pretty quick when you meet them. Eye contact, how they carry themselves. Yeah, you can see through pretty bad. I mean, but most of the people, in interviews, there's going to be a little bit of nervousness. That's understandable.
Yeah.
But I can teach you how to make a bagel sandwich. I can't teach you to want to make a bagel sandwich.
Yeah.
So I look for driven individuals that I know can bring something to the team.
Driven is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Drive is something that I think that I'm starting to see less and less of. And I don't know,
Agreed.
right? It's kind of like one of those things where how do you quantify that when previously it was easier to find in this age?
And that's what I was saying earlier. Yeah, I just think it's willpower. It's personal willpower. Are you going to settle at the end of the day for, hey, I got enough done, or are you going to hold yourself accountable? That person I want working for me.
Yeah.
Because they're going to set a daily example without me, asking them to. They're already going to have an agenda. When they get to work, they're there to make money, and they're there to make a difference.
Yeah.
And that is pretty much what we're about.
That makes sense.
So, we are wanting to help elevate the standard downtown for what it means to own a business.
Okay.
There are some great businesses downtown already, and we aim to increase that with our own.
Yeah, that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
What about some, recommendations of, maybe there's somebody out there that wants to go into bagels or wants to go into food service? What is your advice for them?
Don't do it. I'm just joking.
You know what's funny? I honestly say that every single time, but yet I still do it. It's like, it's like you like torturing yourself.
Yeah. That's true.
But it's like, it's so funny because I have other friends in the restaurant industry, and every single time this comes up, it's like,
That's so true.
why is it a don't do it?
It's a don't do it because you're never off. Okay. You know that. It changes you to become a workaholic. Until you figure out you can't do that anymore. And you need to maybe have a day to yourself so that you can be 100% each day. Like,
why is our industry known for that?
I don't know. There's parts of the world that don't do things on the weekends, But
I feel for
like,
us, like, that's our busiest time. You said that Saturday and Sunday are the busiest
in their industry. They are the busiest times. Matter of fact, I've heard that Sundays are.
Yeah.
Because who wants to cook a meal on Sunday when you're trying to soak the weekend up and do laundry? Like, no one.
Exactly.
So that's why Sunday is so busy. But there's a personal factor too. I mean, just sometimes you need a day to rest and get ready for the work week.
I guess my balance here is like, what is it about the restaurant industry that causes that to be on it? Because I've talked to, because I'm part of this, I speak to so many.
Right, and you hear the same things over.
And you hear the same things over and over again. It's like, it's so much time.
Well, I think the rawness of it is, you're dealing with hungry people, okay? People in general are hard to please. And the truth of the matter, you're not going to please everybody. But you can have your own standards for your team, and you meet those on a day-to-day basis. But it can become exhausting to withhold those when you have such high standards. But, all you can do is put the systems in place and hold yourself accountable and hope for the best. But I really just think, how old are you? I'm 37. You're
not going to get that answer.
Yeah, you're like 22, aren't you? 23, Adam?
You know this game, man.
Almost got you.
This is the mystery of Statesboro right now.
I almost got him. We'll call him 23. Okay. So,
I like you already. What you need? You need anything else?
I need you to come get a bagel.
I will be there.
No, you're already there. I see you all the time. I just feel like, I don't know, man. That's a tough one. It's just, it can become exhausting, but you just do it.
I think so. I'm involved with multiple different businesses, right? So I have the real estate plays, the media production, the Whiskey Grail e-commerce product. I don't see another business out there that is as challenging or as fulfilling at times.
That's it right there. The self-rewarding.
Yeah,
factor,
it's huge, right? Because it's immediate. Like you get the food out to the people, and the people enjoy it. It's like boom,
instant gratification, and then validation for you because you did it.
But some of the stuff that you do is not like if you're like, for example, building, right? You don't know what's going to look like until you get it.
Yeah, it could be months.
It could be a huge amount of time.
Yeah, it's true.
So I think why we do it. I think is because we love that sense of serving people, right? Because it's such if someone has a terrible day, they come to your restaurant and you're able to turn it around just with a single bite of food. That's huge. That's the bee's knees, right?
That's huge. And I think that the service industry, that's why they call it the service industry, but I think it's more than that too. I think you have a chance to help shape these people's lives. And, I'm definitely a man of God, and I go to church, and I know that, I like to I'm very blessed to have a situation that I can help impact younger people in their lives. At Your Pie, I can confidently say, I think it was 5 marriages that happened.
That's awesome.
My teams, they found their spouse.
Within
those 7 years.
Do you pull a any sort of like garnishment on like their kids' wages or anything like that? That's what I tell my team.
No.
At least the way I handle it. You get married under the same enterprises or whatever.
Right.
Like, hey, the garnishes, the kids, let's call it. We gonna start it at.
That's funny, dude. No, I thought it was enough to know that, like, hey, we all created this atmosphere, and I mean, that's like a big yield.
Yeah.
That they met their spouse on the
Huge.
same team,
Yeah.
And so I thought that was a pretty big privilege to be part of that.
Yeah.
I think those are the things that ultimately are going to matter later. Also, too, on the other part is at this point, that's why I was talking about the age earlier. You'll see it in about 10 years when you're, 33? Because you're 23 now. I think that it's not really about us anymore. It's about the next generation. It's about the kids, and we got to set it up for them. So we need high value businesses that they're going to be part of, and we need business owners that are in it to win it.
That's huge. Doing it for the next.
That's
the
pay
next
it
crop.
forward for the next generation. So,
what's the future of Boro Bagel Company?
More bagels.
Yeah.
No.
How many more bagels?
Yeah.
We talking franchise? What are we talking? What are we talking, man?
I don't know. I hesitate even saying, and I really don't know.
Yeah.
I am just here for the ride.
Yeah.
I'd like to, a franchise would be kind of cool, but I still, again, like, I've done the franchisee thing.
Yeah.
I really like this. I hesitate saying mom and pop. People use that as a metaphor for businesses that are not corporations. But it's just, I don't know. Like, I don't really have a word for us, but you get what I'm saying.
I think, the creative aspect. So I've always have had interest in franchises simply because I want to learn the systems that they put in place.
That's right.
There's some value there,
big
right?
time.
Because like you get to see like, hey,
Big
like
time.
this is how they're able to kind of like do everything that they do.
Yes, and I actually learned that firsthand with this. So, I mean, whether it's creating a menu, creating a new hire packet, creating a handbook, I don't know. I feel like maybe you don't have to do all those things, but I did because that's what I knew. I literally was already done for me with your pie, and now I have to do it. So, mad respect to the people who did that before. Yeah. So, I mean, there's just so many facets of starting a business from scratch.
Yeah.
I honestly think that was the biggest thing, and then prioritizing them. Like, who cares about a new hire packet when you don't have your build out done? Who cares about a menu? I don't have a sign right now. So everything in right timing, and to steal the words from a good buddy of mine, you don't want to get the cart before the horse.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I think I'm right where we're right where we need to be. Business is up.
Yeah.
Business is good. Energy's up. People are loving it. We've got great reviews online. Of course, we're going to have a couple bad ones, but I'm very fortunate to have the team I have behind me, and the Statesboro market, here is just very amazing. They're showing up, and I appreciate it.
Love that. So how do people get in contact? How do people find, like, get the directions there?
Right.
Or like...
So we're on Google. Our location is 23 South Main. We're right next to Cool Beans. We are currently not doing call-ins or catering or any of that right now. Like I said, we're simplifying operations.
Sure.
We will be rolling that in soon.
Okay.
We also have a Bagel of the Month that we're going to start with sometime next month.
Okay. Super exciting.
I'd like to go ahead and say what it was, but I just don't know if I want to do that.
Why?
Yet. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and do it.
That's awesome.
So we will be launching a brisket bagel.
Let's go.
From my good friends Kelly and Violet at the Hope You Like It barbecue.
Nice.
Yes.
So you're gonna be securing the brisket from Hope You Like It.
That's right.
That's
yeah,
amazing.
I'm actually gonna go over there here soon, and we're gonna look at how it's made and everything, and we'll be able to have a brisket bagel.
That's amazing.
We just got to pair it right.
When do you estimate that to? Do I need to hold off on delivering this podcast in order to line that up, or what are you thinking?
Either or, it could create anticipation. I mean, I'm thinking around the 14th or so
of
October.
Of October.
Yeah, we're inside 2 weeks.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
You know, it's something we've talked about for a while, and it's just like, I want to concentrate on it. You know, I don't want to be like, it's been a high stress situation the past 3 weeks. And so I kind of want to actually have fun with it. So we should be launching that soon though. And I think that's going to be a crowd pleaser. And we have a bunch of other ones that we're going to be rolling in also. So, but that'll be, you know, like the bagel of the month. We'll change it up, and you get that from back of house terms as far as inventory, right?
That makes sense.
So
what about IG, social media? How do we get there?
Social media. We have Facebook, Boro Bagel Company on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
We're going to be a lot more interactive with that soon here now that we can actually focus. You know, so my girlfriend Maria will be our actual standing GM.
Awesome.
Starting probably this Saturday. She'll be solely there at the Boro Bagel Company. You'll be seeing her. Her name's Maria Phillips. You'll see her slinging bagels.
I love that.
So, I think we'll be able to do a lot more things. And she does our marketing. She's really good with that. And all things bagels now. So
awesome. Well, Britt, it was an absolute pleasure to speak with you. I think, you know, watching you grow like in that business has been amazing, right? So I personally stopped by multiple times because I'm good friends with Brandon, and I saw it where it was from the beginning. And that's an element that most people don't have the opportunity to see. So I thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem. I'm glad that, and when I do get to talk with you in those walls, it does help. I mean, I value your input because you've been there, done that, and you get the stress.
Yeah. Oh, believe me, it's something that I do very well.
And I think we're on the same level as far as invest energy in downtown.
Absolutely.
You know, like you look at companies like Vino, Boro Bagel Company, you as well. You know, Vandy's. AJ, huge with downtown, helping spearhead that Boro Fest. You know, I see big things to come. He's done great with Tandor and all his other stuff. He's got everything going on.
Yeah.
And there's so many more. But I just think that, you know, we're all pointing the same direction that we want to grow downtown to its full potential.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Definitely.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Adam.
Cool.
Appreciate it, man.
Awesome.